I am Gmanski, but you can call me G-Man. And some things in life that I absolutely love are my dog, superhero movies, and playing football, baby. Yeah, give me that point. And you know what, growing up, I was actually pretty decent. I turned out to be the only person from my graduating class to go on to play college football, which is eventually where I discovered that I want to work in the film industry. Maybe doing some more commercials or doing more stuff where they got me looking like a fake-ass Norbit. But because of this, I had to give up on playing football. And I never truly got to see just how great I could be. So today, I am putting myself into college football 26. Let's go back in time and see what would have happened if I only focused on football, and watch as I start my road to glory. Now, early on in high school, I went to a school called Wachusett. And I'm not gonna lie, man, I was more like a 0-star recruit, if anything. Like, I would be lucky if I was even on a scouting report. So I thought when I graduated, I might have to enlist in the army, or maybe go to UMass Amherst to be an accountant or something. Either way, I knew I still had some time left to make something of myself. And that all starts now as I take the field for my next high school game. Now, unfortunately for me, I am a wide receiver stuck on a weak-ass, triple-option-ass offense. So most games, we didn't even pass at all. And then during games where we did pass, our quarterback was garbage, just constantly throwing hospital balls and or interceptions. So eventually I decided that I was going to go talk to the coach, because I felt like I should be included more in this offense. And it turns out that my coach not only disagreed, but he straight up suggested that I transfer. And you know what, he didn't even have to tell me twice, man, because soon I was on a new team. And now I really feel like at this school I might be able to come out here and show some coaches that I deserve to be on a college roster. Now, unfortunately, man, it seems like me and my quarterback are just not on the same page, bro. But I can't even really blame him too much because you know what? I'm out here dropping passes, and I don't even know why I'm clapping because now coach takes me out for the rest of the game. And I got goofy-ass classmates talking crazy about me getting benched. But right when I feel like I'm about to go out there and prove them wrong, my coach pulls me into his office and tells me that he's going to put me on defense full time. He said he noticed that I've been making a lot of good plays in practice, and that I was playing pretty well as a DB during the games. So hey man, I'll tell you what, if the coach really believes in me, then I'ma trust him. And I'm gonna come out here ready to make some plays in my next high school game. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I was low-key getting cooked up in this game until I saw the quarterback, and I ran up and told him, "Sit down, boy." Coming up with my first big play of the day. But one thing about playing defense full-time is that I realized how great my teammates were. They were helping me complete all my goals damn near every drive. And that helped me a lot, because by the end of this game, I was receiving a lot more interest from schools, and I was actually getting my first scholarship. Boston College believes in me, and I'm only a 2-star recruit. Appreciate BYU too, but I heard you can't clap cheeks before marriage over there, so I don't know about that. Either way, I'm feeling good about getting my first offer, and I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure it doesn't stop there, as I head back out on the field for my next high school game. Now in this game, it looks like we're playing against a wing T-ass offense, so I'm gonna go ahead and smack this man down to the ground. Yeah, I'm feeling dangerous out here, boy, because I came out in the second quarter and brought the running back down too. But once again, shout out to my teammates who all game were making plays, including a big one on 4th down that not only helps the offense get the ball back, but once again helps me complete most of my goals, this time helping me move up to a 3-star recruit. And now all of a sudden, I don't even have to go to the army no more, man. Appreciate the offer though. Because now I'm getting offers from some of the top schools in the nation. It turns out even Dion wants me. Hey, I like Dion. I want to be like Dion. But after I move up to a top 15 player in the state, I know I got a few more opportunities left in my high school career to show the coaches that I can be even better. Now, one of the colleges want to see me get a tackle for loss on this drive, and I actually get it here on my first play. Our defense just needed to stop right here towards the end of the game to put this one away. And we would find a way to come up with a sack, putting an end to a drive that allowed us to take home a big win. And on top of that, I was now a 4-star recruit. Coaches around the country are seeing potential in me that I didn't even see in myself. And I can't believe that only having a couple options early on in my career, I can now almost go to pretty much anywhere in the country. But you know what, I can worry about that later on because I am now heading into my final game of my high school career. My last opportunity to show coaches what I can do and potentially earn some big time offers. Now I see this guy coming my way on a speed option, so I bring him down to the ground, coming up with a play that pushes them back towards their own goal line where they would eventually get sacked in the end zone for a safety, which turned out to be a huge moment for us. We are doing a great job at this point getting a stop on almost every single drive, preventing our opponents from even getting past the 50. Bringing us to the 4th quarter where we needed one more stop to put an end to this game, and we were able to get it. Coming up with a big win that somehow now made me a 5-star recruit. And I'm not gonna lie, bro, I'm not gonna say that I don't deserve it, but I don't even have a pick so far throughout my high school career. But I'm gonna just assume that these teams see the vision, man, because I'm getting recruited by some of the top teams in the nation. I mean, I have way more options than I ever thought that I would have. So this is going to be extremely tough for me to figure out, but soon It was National Signing Day, and it would be time for me to make my official college decision. And my top 3 would eventually come down to Boston College, Colorado, and the Oregon Ducks. And when I thought about going to school with my guy Decorian Moore, nah bro, I couldn't do it bro. I'm trying to build my own legacy. So that's why for my college decision, I decided to stay close to home and officially sign with Boston College. They had my former teammate Isaac Yadam who went there and is now actually already in the NFL. So they feel like I can be on a similar trajectory, but I'm out here getting cooked up. Eventually though, I would begin to catch on and prove that I was more than just a fake ass 5-star recruit. I was ready to get into my first game, but first I had to change up my drip, man. I can't be going out there looking weak. And the only thing I really hate about playing with BC is that they have New Balance and this shit, I don't know, this kind of, I don't know. Either way, I am now ready to make my college football debut. Boston College believed in me when I was a 2-star recruit. And I chose them because I'm going to help build them into a powerhouse. And I'm going to do everything I can to help us start the season off right as I get into my first game of my career against Rutgers. Now it didn't take long until my college football career where I came up with my first tackle. Our defense was out here playing pretty well early on and we actually came up with our first stop. But then after Rutgers gets the ball back, they start finding a way to get right downfield. They end up getting to a 1st and 10 inside the red zone where I almost caught this pass, but instead it goes right by me for a touchdown. Now luckily BC is able to tie this game up at 7, so we're looking pretty good. At least that was until our defense got hit deep with double coverage. And I don't know how they let something like that happen, but you know what? It's all good because our defense still comes up with a stop on 3rd down. Now throughout this game, I am making my impact felt more as a tackler than anything. I even went out there on one play and came up with my first tackle for loss of my career, making a huge play before half that got me really hyped up. So I knew on this next play, if they even tried to throw my way, that I was going to have to say, coming up with my first pick of my college football career. And you know what, y'all? I have a feeling that I'm only just getting started. Now, somehow the Boston College offense would allow Rutgers to score some points, but at least they still kept us at a 1-possession game. And later on, we got a pretty easy stop on Rutgers, so it felt like we were in great position as we head later into the 4th quarter. Bringing us to a 3rd down and 12 or on this play, all we really got to do is... Oh, nah. Bro, I just got cooked, bro. That boy fried me like some chicken out Popeyes, man, so I gotta really hope that this offense can do something. And it does! They score on the last second to win this game 27-24. We come up with a big win early on in the season where, besides that last play, this defense as a whole had played phenomenal. And I really did my thing with my 1 interception and 2 TFLs. But yeah, bro, I'm definitely working on my speed because ain't no way I'm letting myself get done up like this again. I was really just going to have to be better. And I was about to have another chance to as I was heading into my next game of my college career. This time on the road as Boston College is facing off against Cincinnati. Now, Cincinnati actually heard about what happened to me later on in the last game. So they tried to take a shot deep on me early, but I smacked that shit away, boy, get out of here. Coming up with a stop that puts this game at 7-0, before a drive from Cincinnati eventually puts it at 7-3. And with Boston College actually turning the ball over in their own territory, the Bearcats were in great position to potentially take a lead. But we pushed them to a 4th down and goal where they decided to take another shot my way, and I found a way to get that out of there too. It seemed like it was pretty much a no-fly zone for Cincinnati, and whenever it was, at least it would be short of the sticks. It wouldn't be until the end of the game where they were down by 3 possessions where they would finally make a play downfield. A pretty big one too that brings them across the goal line for a touchdown, but at that point we have already done enough to put this game away. As we come up with a 21-10 victory, and I'm feeling pretty good, bro, because I had another great game. For being just a freshman, man, I feel pretty confident in my ability to make some plays. And it turns out that my coach has been liking what he's been seeing on the field, and he has a lot of confidence in me too. I had a chance to really become something special with this team, and I would have a great chance to keep showing what I can do going into my next game against FCS East. Now, early on, it's pretty clear that our opponents cannot handle our defense. We were absolutely demolishing them all throughout the first half, especially when I came out here and brought this quarterback down to the ground, boy, my first sack of my college football career. We had pretty much had this game wrapped up by the 3rd quarter as we had a 28-0 lead. But after this play where I decided to say Shablaka, I had officially instilled fear in my opponent's heart. And that's exactly why we would go on to obliterate them in this game 34-3. We absolutely annihilated them in this one, and I helped lead the charge with 2 tackles for loss and 1 sack. And at this point, I was starting to become somewhat of a local hero, man. I was out here getting some of my first NIL deals, and I was out here getting a lot of love from the city of Boston. They put up 3 different billboards because that's my favorite number. But you see, I wasn't going to let it get to my head too much because I knew we had a long season ahead of us. And we would start coming across some tough games like we're about to in our next one. as Boston College is now looking to face off against the Miami Hurricanes. Now, on the first play of this game, I was just trying to do a better job at reading this defense, because I haven't come up with an interception in a week. So as soon as I saw this ball come my way, I said, "Wang!" Coming up with my first pick in over a week, and I'm taking this one back to the crib for my first touchdown of my college football career. And I'm hype as hell because I did that on the first play of the game. But let me calm down, bro, because I know Miami's tough. I gotta be ready for each and every moment to come out here and say, "Wang!" As I come up with my second pick of the day. And I'm returning this. Wait, hold on, let me make sure. Hold on, give me a second. Yeah, I'm a demon. I am absolutely dominating this game, putting up some points that gives my team a 14-0 lead. But it's too bad that not everybody can play like me, because soon my defense was letting up a huge play downfield, allowing Miami to go for a touchdown that brings them back in this game. And with our offense not really doing much of anything, Miami would eventually get the ball back in field goal range, and after we find a way to come up with the stop, this would eventually become a 21-10 ball game before Miami would find themselves back at the goal line. And this time they were out there throwing my way again, and I'm getting cooked. I allow a touchdown that puts this game at 21-17. But as bad as I feel about letting up that touchdown, I can't really do nothing about this, as my defense is letting up a huge play downfield where this runner has a chance to go to the end zone, but instead he actually juked out of bounds, resulting in this game only being at 21-20. But after we stopped Miami here in field goal range, they now had a chance to take their first lead of the game, bringing us to later on in the fourth quarter where our defense came up with another stop in field goal range, giving our offense a chance to go downfield and potentially make something happen, but unfortunately they don't. And we end up taking our first loss of the season. Now obviously I'm not too happy about this, considering that I played a great game and scored more points single-handedly than my offense did. I mean, I even went on to win my first ACC and National Defensive Player of the Week. An incredible game that I wish would have came with a win, but I guess that just means that I have to keep getting better. So I'm working on whatever I can before I start heading into my next game, where I'm going to try to do whatever it takes to get my team back on track, and hopefully get back in the win column on the road against UNLV. Now I'm out here doing a great job locking stuff up in this game before a receiver guts underneath me, and he comes up with a big play over the middle, but see? Yes, sir. I like that call, ref. That's a good call. I agree. Unfortunately, though, UNLV would eventually get downfield where their quarterback rushed up the middle for a touchdown, tying this game up at 7 as we move to the second half, which is where eventually we come up with a stop and allow UNLV to score 3. Now, with under 2 minutes left in this game, we are looking to force a turnover, and the sack was definitely going to help us. It was definitely going to be tough, though, with that quarterback having thrown 0 interceptions on the season. And you know what, man? That's a pretty nice number and all, but I still had to come out here and say, "Wang!" Coming up with a pick in enemy territory and giving my offense an opportunity to take the lead and win the game. Unfortunately, my offense was trash, and not only did they not score in regulation, they didn't even score in overtime. So even though my defense came out here and got a stop on third down, there was literally nothing we can do as the Rebels took a 13-10 victory, now giving us our second straight loss in a game where I was making some big plays. And I'm not gonna lie, with the way that I've been playing, man, I'm kind of disappointed. And at the very least, I am playing pretty well. So well, in fact, that I might have a chance to break the Boston College single-season record for interceptions. But I really do not like the fact that we just lost back-to-back games like that. It'd be one thing if our defense was garbage, but we're out here doing our jobs. We're just trying to figure out what's going on with that offense, and they're gonna have to step it up this game, because we are heading on the road once again for our conference matchup, as Boston College and I are set to face off against Georgia Tech. Now, oftentimes what happens is that I do a pretty good job locking up my player, but the defender on the opposite side of the field is getting teabagged, allowing opponents to get down the field into scoring range, but at least this time we come up with a stop, eventually bringing this game to 3-3, where I help my defense come up with a sack. A big stop on third down that allows Georgia Tech to take a 6-3 lead, but in Boston College territory, they're in position to score again before I snag this shit out the air, coming up with a huge pick that takes the ball away from my opponents and gives my team a ton of momentum going forward in this game. Because by the fourth quarter, we would have a 15-6 lead, at least until Georgia Tech threw a touchdown to make us a one-possession game. And after Boston College had turned the ball over, Georgia Tech had no problem getting downfield for another score, a huge one that would finally give them the lead. And after Boston College once again failed to put up a touchdown, we would go on to lose our third straight game, dropping this one 20-15. And honestly, man, I'm not even sure what to feel anymore, bro. This is kind of crazy. I had never lost in 3 straight games in any sport in my life. And the worst part about it is that I'm out here trying to do my best to be a good leader and stuff, but it seems like a lot of people are not happy with that. Because if I was being realistic, it's obvious that it's not my fault, man. My quarterback is trash. Like, I don't know what to do about that. What you want me to do? I mean, all I can do is just lock in on what I have to focus on, and I'm going to do exactly that going into my next game. Especially since we are heading on the road for what I believe is the 4th straight time in another big-time ACC matchup against SMU. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys, early on, it feels like we might be in a little bit of trouble. Because I don't know who this dude is, but he's going pretty crazy right now. Like, hey, come on, bro. You didn't have to do him like that. Like, hey, come on, bro. Hey, you know what, bro? I got something for that. Because as soon as I get the chance, I'm going to say shabang and knock this receiver into next week, boy. Bringing us to a 4th down and 4 where our defense came up with the stop. Now, one thing that I'm still learning as a true freshman was not to get too greedy. Because right now I'm out here, oh my God, bro. Oh, they got the ball at the goal line, bro. I don't know what to do, bro. Psych! Give me that shit, boy. Stop playing with me. I'm coming up with a huge pick that takes points off the board for SMU. Bringing us to the 3rd quarter where they actually got the ball right back in field goal range, and we were able to come up with another stop that this time would hold them to 3. But eventually this game would come down to 3rd and 7 with less than 2 minutes left. So I knew my teammates would need somebody to say, "Wang!" As I come up with another pick, and I'm bringing this ball across midfield and allowing my offense a chance to put some more points up. But you know what, even if they don't, I just snagged a game winner and allowed my team to come up with another win on the season. As we close this game out 7-3, which is honestly pretty nasty work. I mean, I expect SMU to not score because they have to play against me, obviously, but I don't know why our offense is so trash. And despite the fact that I'm happy about getting some more NIL deals, I'm genuinely worried about the future of this program if we can't put up more than 7 points. At this point, man, I'm gonna just have to focus on controlling whatever I can control, and hopefully our offense can start making some more plays as we are finally heading back home. And we're getting ready to play in another ACC matchup, this time against Virginia Tech. Now, even though I've been calling out my offense a lot of times my defense has people standing around doing nothing. Kind of like this play where they allowed this dude to get downfield and score a touchdown on 3rd and 3. And as y'all know, man, at all times, I am always trying to make a play. When I see my teammate get hurdled right here, so I took out the running back's legs, bringing us to a 3rd down and goal where they needed somebody to make a play. Luckily, I was able to get back in time and snag this ball out the air, coming up with a pick that would hopefully give my offense some life and allow them to potentially put up some points. Yeah, never mind, they trash. And after we hold Virginia Tech to a 3rd down, we let them convert. And just like that, we are taking another loss on the season. I am sick. And at this point, I really do not know what to do, bro. This is not what I planned for. I didn't think we would be this garbage. And I'm actually getting called out on social media for this very exact thing, talking about this what I get for going to a bum-ass team. And I'm not gonna lie, bro, I can't even blame him, man. I'm out here playing incredible this season. But at this point, it seems like we will not even have a chance to crack the top 25. And as a guy who went to a high school that won a state championship and made the playoffs every single year, I am pretty much checked out already, and I have to really think about what I want to do with my future. Because if this is what it's going to look like for the next 3 to 4 years at Boston College, then I don't want to be here. But for right now, man, I just have to control what I can control and focus on becoming the best player I can be as I head into my next game against Syracuse. Now, in this one, our defense was back to playing extremely well, holding Syracuse to only 3 points throughout the first half, but it turns out that's all our offense could do too. And you know what, bro, that really started to make me mad and felt like somebody got to do something about this. So on this play, I was just trying to read this formation and oh, I've seen this before. I'm coming up with a pick myself, and I'm taking this bitch to the crib for a touchdown, baby. Stop playing with me, boy, I really do this. I give my team a 10-3 lead, and we actually get Syracuse to another 3rd down, where for some reason they decided to throw my way, so I snagged that ball out the air, coming up with my 2nd pick of the day. And I'm out here putting on a show in front of my home crowd. Eventually, though, this game would end up tied at 10 in the 4th quarter. And I know with Boston College not really being able to put up points, I can't really trust them in overtime. So on this play, I decided that I'm going to have to say, coming up with another pick, giving my team the ball past midfield and giving us a chance to put this game away. We come up with a victory that pushes us to 5-4 on the season. And I know that if I can keep playing like this, we might be able to turn our season around. But I would have to have another big game as I match up against another ACC rival, with Boston College set to take on Florida State. Now at this point in the game, Florida State has 7 points and obviously Boston has 0. So of course the player I am, I try to do everything I can to change that by snagging this ball out the air. Give me that, boy, I'm gone. Huss, hey. Ooh, we bring our team inside the 5-yard line, baby, allowing our team to tie this game up at 7. But I'll be honest, man, although I do make a lot of great plays, sometimes I be trying to do a little bit too much and even let up a touchdown. But in this game, it was all good for now as we had a 21-17 with no time left on the clock. But on this play, we allowed the quarterback to escape out the pocket where he scrambled upfield, and he actually decided to slide like a goofy, and we end up winning another game on the season, closing this one out 21-17. And I don't know, man, we looking pretty good right now. I'm still not super happy about this offense, but I'm feeling pretty confident going forward throughout the year. We're definitely going to have a big test, though, as we head into our next game, where it looks like we will be on the road facing off against another ACC opponent, the Duke Blue Devils. Now, for some reason early on, Duke was trying to test me, throwing it my way before I decided to strap this motherfucker up in a seatbelt. Coming up with my first pick of the night that I hope will give my team a chance to put up some points, but I also was not surprised when they did it. Now, what I was surprised about though is that Duke was carving up our defense and getting downfield in position to score, where a few plays later, this quarterback was scrambling up the middle before I smacked him across the face, forcing him to fumble, but Duke still picks it up and scores a touchdown. And would you believe that this was already enough to put this game away? Because holy bruh, this offense can't do nothing. We have scored 0 multiple times throughout this season, and at this point I really can't even quantify how frustrated I actually am. I mean, I came out here and broke the single season record for interceptions at Boston College, and it feels like I'm actually just getting 0 help from my offense. On the bright side though, man, at least social media is accurately representing my situation. But ultimately, I don't really have anybody else to blame but myself, bro. I am a 5-star recruit, and I worked my way up from a 2-star to potentially becoming a hometown hero for Boston College. And instead, they damn near want to throw my season away. So you know what, bro, it's all good, bro. I've already made my mind up. At this point, I just have to lock in for my final game of the regular season as we face off against Pittsburgh. Now, early on, Pitt was doing a great job getting down into field goal range, where it looks like they're actually going to put up some points before I pick this ball off, coming up with an interception that takes some points off the board for Pittsburgh and hopefully allows my offense to put up some points. Yeah, I'm stupid for even thinking that. Yeah, I hate that my offense can put up points. That really made me mad, bro. So that's why I came out here and said, Wayne, absolutely obliterating this ball carrier and picking up the fumble. That shit looked like 50 Shades of Denzel Ward if you ask me. Yeah, man, I'm really like that. And you know who's also really like that? Our defense. As all throughout the season, we continue to come up with stops. But you know who's not like that? Our offense. As once again, we score 0 points in this game and get shut out at home 17-0. This is a disgrace. On the bright side though, the regular season is over and I'm already prepared to start looking at other colleges. Now, we would go on to win another ACC Defensive Player of the Week, and it turns out that Jeremiah Smith out of Ohio State wins a Heisman. And I'm not gonna lie, he had a pretty good season, but we all know if he played against me, he gonna have 1 reception for -3 yards and 0 touchdowns. But that's good for him though, bro. Cute little award. But as much confidence as I usually have, I was still surprised to find out that I won the Chuck Bednarik Award, establishing myself as the best defensive player in the country, and I'm only just a true freshman. I mean, I'm also winning the Bronco Nagurski and the Jim Thorpe, becoming an obvious superstar in college football, and a lot of my teammates were happy for me that I was becoming one of the most notable names in the nation. Unfortunately, this would be around a time where the coach would find out that I am leaving the program. And although he was trying to do everything he could to try to keep me on the team, I had to let coach know straight up that I am not going to be there. I had the season that I had, and we didn't even sniff the college football playoffs. So nah, man, I'm cool, man. I'm just ready to get into my final game as a Boston College Eagle, where hopefully we can find a way to come up with a win against one of the top teams in the nation as we face off against Decorian Moore and Oregon. Now in this game, I'm just trying to prove that I can lock up some of the best receivers in the nation. And I got off to a great start by snagging this ball out the air and coming up with my first pick of the day, absolutely strapping up my opponent for a turnover that unfortunately went for no points. We actually had Oregon backed up on a 3rd and 4, where it turned out to be our defense who came up with the first points of the day, bringing Dante Moore down in the end zone for a safety. But I think they knew what they would now have to do, as eventually they matched me up with Decorian Moore. And although I do like Decorian Moore, man, I feel like I got something to prove. So even though he beats me off the line of scrimmage, I still say, Wayne, as I come up with my second pick of the day, taking more points off the board for Oregon and Decorian Moore. But all this did was actually lead to a Boston College turnover, and soon Oregon was pretty much walking their way across the goal line for a touchdown. And unfortunately, things were not changing much as Oregon continued to go downfield and score some points. And all I could really do was just try to help my team get back in it, man. So on this play, I read my receiver's route and decided to lock that man up, boy. Give me that. I am getting my 3rd pick of the day. And you know what? Let me see some. Hold on. Yeah, I'm different, bro. I'm out here really showing that I can hang with the best of them. But you know what? If there's anybody out here who still thinks that I'm a fake-ass 5-star recruit, then all I gotta say is, I'm getting my 4th pick of the day. I am out here strapping these boys up, man. Stop playing with me, boy. But after I noticed that my team still only has 5 points, I'm actually mad. And since Decorian Moore was on my side of the field, I knew they were going to throw him the ball. So as soon as they did, I smacked that young man into next year. Yeah. But despite another game where I played out of my mind, it seemed like I was the only one on the team who was doing so. Because after this running back breaks off 50 tackles and makes his way to the end zone, I am genuinely so upset, bro, that I am walking off the field before the clock hits 0. Because despite me having a good game, we get absolutely embarrassed, dropping this game 38-5. And I not only end the season breaking a record for the most interceptions in a game in BC history, but I actually go on to break the NCAA record for the most interceptions in a season. I had dominated in a year where I not only put up 18 picks, but I had 14 tackles for loss and 70 total tackles. Which is exactly why no matter what, bro, I am leaving this program and I'm getting ready to take my talents to a new team. And the good thing is that I have a ton of options that could potentially allow me to one day win a national championship. So going into the offseason, I have a big decision to make, but I'm gonna leave that decision up to you guys. If you want to see a part 2 of me in college football 26, be sure to get this video to 1,000 likes and subscribe to the channel down below. Also be sure to comment down below where you want me to transfer to and what else you guys want to see next in college football 26. If you got to this point in the video, just know that I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. I hope you all have an incredible weekend, and other than that, I'm gonna catch you guys next time.